Okay, once you've created a test, we've already deployed the test, and we've already talked about allowing other students to take the test, and we've already talked about timed exams and the timer, the forced completion. But to create a pool, now here's where, again, if with a little planning, you can actually have a very protected test in terms of cheating and plagiarism. And so to do so, you have to go to your course management tools again, select test surveys and pools. And in the test, of course, you'll see the test. Oops, I meant to go to pools. First, we're creating the pool in order for that test to select from, especially if you want to have one student get a random 10 questions out of 50, another student get a random 10 questions out of 50, etc. So in here, a question database, you can export any. If I had any created, I could copy or I could edit. But right now, I don't have a pool. So in order to do so, you would click on Build Pool. And under pool information, let's say you have a test database or a folder you want to have a bunch of art history questions. So as the instructor, I want to put something that I'm going to remember. So maybe I'm going to put, whoops, I'm going to put art history questions. Sorry, art professors. I'm kind of going to be guessing from here. Okay. That way, as the instructor, I know that my pool of available questions for an art history exam will be in this folder. If you want to, again, the kind of cover page, you could call it, or the folder cover, you can put in information description. If you want to remember, these are the questions I want to use for the art history test. Instructions if you want, which wouldn't really be for the students because they don't see the pool. That would sort of defeat the purpose. Now you can see that I have created a folder, but I have not put any questions in it yet. So I can find questions at this point. Remember, I created those too. So I'm going to click on Find Questions. Now, if you had imported previous timed assessments from WebCT, you're going to have quite the list here from all the questions you've ever, all the tests and timed assessments you've ever done. And you can simply click on the boxes that you want to include in that pool. I only have two. You can see there's pools, tests, question types, categories, topics, levels of difficulty, and keywords. So the idea is once you build a big pool of questions, you can then kind of go through and organize them in the ways that you want. For example, all the multiple choice questions. You're looking for a fill in the blank question or something, and you can search for them that way. Here I've only have two, so not very much. So I'm going to click these two. I'm going to click on those, and I'm going to click Submit. And you'll see that it's going to keep this all now in my pool of questions called art history questions. And so you can see them here. Again, I can go in here and change the points I thought I had before, but whatever. But let's say I want to change that to 5. You can see it changed to 5. So make sure that you have the question types that you want because the default is always 10. And now I can add more to here. I can upload questions, which will give me the standard browse, for those questions and points. I can also find questions I created as I just did, and I can also start creating new questions. So if this appeals to you, having a bigger pool of questions in order to randomize your test more effectively, then actually start here in the pools. Start building your pools first, and that will save you a lot of time, preferably before your class is live, and that way you can have a lot of stuff already there waiting for you. If you're lucky and you've created lots of these kinds of questions in your previous online classes, then they will all be uploaded and they will be imported into the content page. So you just have to make sure you move them into the pool folder that you want. Create a pool folder and then move them in there. So I can do anything I want with those at this point. And that's how you have a pool. And then let's see. Now, pool canvas is when I'm back in the test, which I put here on this home page. And I'm going to have to go to the bottom again to see where I put the test that we created. And when I click into that test, this is actually to begin it, so I have to go into edit. Now when I go into reuse questions, I can see that I have, where is it? Create question, reuse question, find questions. When I click on find questions, hopefully it will give me the choice of the pool. If you ever get this menu, that little message that I got about it being blocked by a pop-up, you should obviously have pop-ups disabled before this. Thank you very much, James. But you can also just hold down the control key. There's a little tip there. So I'm going to go into find questions. Ha! I thought I could subvert it, but I can't. Unfortunately, if you don't do that, then you have to go back to the original website and find your way back to the test again. So as soon as it loads here, a lot of instructors are also asking about the downloading the Respondus software, and I'll explain that in a minute too, but let me just finish with this test pool. So in our test 1 example, again, I'm going to go back in there and edit the test or edit the test options. Whatever I want to do, I can always go back into that right click or that right arrow textual menu. And now I'm going to find questions. Now it gives me the actual thing. And now I can actually click on pools if I've created that theoretical pool of questions, and I can put them in there. Notice all my 4 questions are in there now. And it can tell you which folder it's in as well. And when I click on pools, you can see I have all art history questions. Anything you've imported will be in the giant question database. So if you want to take all those questions that got ferried over from your old class, then you're going to want to put them in the folders that make sense to you. The art history questions, the English questions, the true or false, the final questions, or whatever. Okay.